Hey everybody, Elizabeth Varian here. Hair is au naturel. You're seeing me in every form or fashion. Ponytail, buns, curled. Now this is how my hair actually looks normally. Let me get this out of the way. I wanted to do our teaching video for this week, which I'm actually pretty excited about. This has been a flowing theme throughout my entire life, and the topic is, what's your story, or rather stories? And I really think everybody needs to pay attention to their lives with this perspective. So when I was a little girl, I had a reoccurring dream that was kind of bizarre in a way and nightmarish in another way. But it was about this like supersized creature, like an abominable snowman type size, overt creature. And it was orchestrating stories that were theatrical, and we humans were just the mere actors, and our lives was the stage. And possibly, just possibly, it was a bit too much of watching The Twilight Zone, which was popular at that time. But when I think about this dream that really it reoccurred throughout, a good chunk of my time where I remember it. I can picture it now. But my childhood dream was too much for my brain at that time that was still, formulating and growing to connect with the message that were in there that was filled with truth. And by that I mean we are connected to a higher power. Some people say a higher source, infinite source of possibilities, universe, God. We are made in the likeness of God, Jesus in us, God flows through us, energy flows through us. Namaste means that which is great in me recognizes that which is great in you. So whatever your belief system is, we are connected to a higher power. But our lives are filled with theatrical stories. But the supersized large creature isn't putting them together on its own. Instead, our heart's desire materialize with our connection to this larger than us source. Okay, let me say that again because I really want you to get this. So in my dream, a large being was creating stories, and putting certain people in other people's paths. And we know from our belief systems that we are connected. There is something greater than us, something supersized, bigger than us. And unless you're agnostic and lacking spirituality, but you're probably not watching this video anyways, because they tend to not focus on manifesting. But, if you are, you do know that infinite source of possibilities, universe, God, that supersized creation, we are connected with it. And together we are creating these stories. So if we look at our lives and we break them down, we see the actual stories as they play out. It's going to probably take a while to understand for some. Others are going, okay, Elizabeth, I totally get this. I'm on board. So in our lives, we are the directors, the writers, and the actors in these stories. An infinite source of possibilities, God, universe, is the producer. Okay? The producer's job is get all the money that is necessary to create the film. If you look at the world of Hollywood or, whatever, the producer is the one that brings all the pieces together. Typically, sometimes a producer or associate producer is just putting a name on a screen, but many times it is the producer's job to produce, to create and get all of the pieces put into place. Oh, you need a cast. Let's get a casting director. We need to pay for, this. Let's get investors. Let's do, we need scenes and, on location. Let's get a location scout. So the director, the writer, and the actors, they're not getting the investors, they're not going and getting the cast director, they're not going and getting the location scouting. A director will go and help location scout and check it out, but the location scouter will actually go and check the, some possible locations first. And the producer is the one that is bringing all these components together, typically. So if we look at the fact that we're writing down our intentions, we're participating in the manifestation and the reaction and actions, and we are directing, as in deciding, yes, I'm going to continue this path, or no, I'm going to go this path. A director decides if an actor needs to change, how they react to something. Well, that's our job. Whereas infinite source of possibility, or God and universe's job is to bring in the location scout, the people, the places, the finances, everything to make the story happen, right? And they work together. In our words, in thinking and visualizing, we're creating the stories. So what are the various areas that we have stories? Now, these stories can help us and benefit us to create and magnetize that which we desire, or they could be non-beneficial and they could be projecting, people away from us. Remember, a magnet has two sides, and if you have the magnet pointed in the right direction, it attracts. If you have the magnet in the other direction, it's not right or wrong, it's north or south. If you have it in the other direction, it pushes away. So your stories are neither positive nor negative. It's, are they attracting what you desire, or are they pushing away what you desire? And the areas are in our love lives, our businesses and our careers, our family lives, hobbies and activities, financial experiences. Notice I didn't say financial income. It's your financial experience. What are you experiencing in regards to money, income, family and friend relationships, health, and more? The question becomes, what stories are you writing? Are you living the play that gives you energy and feelings of lack, loneliness, and depression? Or are you living in the play or writing the play that brings you joy, fun, love, and abundance? You see how one's expansive, the other one's contractive. Your stories are creating that energy. So let's define stories more specifically. Stories are what we tell ourselves about the various areas of our lives. We are the subject of the stories, the main actor, if you will. The actions are what we experience, how we interact with others, and emotions, reactions we go through daily. Most people go through the stories of their lives on autopilot. So you wake up, you go through your morning routine without much thought of creating the day's story. Then you go to then we get to work and we go through that routine, turn on the computer, get our coffee, chat with a coworker, back to our computer, check our email, and so on and so forth. So without much thought of creating a bigger, better story. Finally, we go through our lives and our evening events and our weekends without consideration of creating a life of exactly how we desire. That is how the average person is going about. Yet they're still creating their stories, right? Because our stories are made up also from our beliefs. Are you a victim? Is the world against you? Is this really all there is and how life goes? Or, that's contracted, or expansive. Are you the victor in all situations in your life? Do you see and receive all the love, joy, and excitement in your relationships? Does the world conspire to bless you? Right? Those are beliefs. Our stories are made up of what we think about. What are your thoughts constantly focused on? Do you focus on lack, need, or want? Or do you focus, that's contract, or expansive? Do you focus on love, experiences coming to you, and creating fun? Our stories are made up of those who surround us, the people. Do you magnetically bring to you people who constantly complain, life is always miserable, and have no goals? These are the people that you'll typically think of first when you have something bad happen and you want to share it with them. They're the ones you typically go to. Do you surround yourself with people who seek increase, are fun, positive, or seek to live at a higher frequency level? Now, can we change our stories? Yes, of course we can. You know you can. So we can change our stories in every area of our life. We are the directors, as I said before. We're the scriptwriters of our lives, and we're the actors within it. But as actors, we have a little bit more freedom. You know, being the director and the actor, you know, we're not confined to someone else's way of doing things. We do it how we choose. And if we decide that we're going to choose a little differently, then so what? We decide a little differently. We give and share our new scripts to the producer. We let the law of allowing, we give it to the new producer. So let me give you some steps. And I'm going to put these steps, there's 5 steps. I'm going to put them in the post on Facebook, the description in YouTube, and the podcast when it comes about. So step 1, review the scripts and stories of your life currently. Pay attention to what you're saying consistently about your work life, love life, your partner if you're in a relationship, or you know, whether you feel worthy enough to receive a relationship. Do you have to lose weight before you gain? That's a story. Okay, it's also a limiting belief, but that's a story. Do you have where, oh, well, you have to work hard to make money? Someone on Facebook today had posted about the exchange, and I'm going to write a blog post on this, but there is a belief system in the manifesting world and law of attraction that the way you get is an exchange for giving value. That's not always true. We've talked about that in various videos. It sounds moral, it sounds noble, it sounds, you know, great, but you can manifest without giving anything. But what's your story? If that's your belief system, then you have to work within that story, or you can change it. Decide the areas that you would like to rewrite. And step 3, that's step 2. Step 3, rewrite the script and story quite literally. You know that I say that my breakfast is my journal time. I can skip a meal, but if I skip my journal time, I really know the difference. So take out a pen and paper. If you're like me, I like to write things down. I get my manifesting pen and I write it out. Or get on your computer, type it out, wherever you are most creative. And start writing your new script in present tense. And do this for every area of your life. So example, let's talk about we'll do 2. We'll do the money and the relationship one. So the money, if you say, you know what, my story and belief has consistently been, and the people around me consistently say that I have to exchange value to have money show up, or for the money that I'd like to receive. But I know that checks can just show up in the mail for no reason at all. I know that not just the lottery. I mean, you can win the lottery, but not just the lottery, but there's other ways of inheritance, unclaimed money, sweepstakes. I had a friend, actually Lisa, you've heard me talk about her. She was in a store and she's like, the one day I didn't have makeup and my hair done. She was in the store and all she was doing was buying a box of cereal. And she's like, the guy kept looking at her and he's like, yeah, that one. Yeah, that one. And she's like, okay, this guy is creepy. But she's like, okay. She grabbed the box, and lo and behold, he was the vendor of that cereal, and she won from that box a guitar game. I don't play video games. Guitar Hero, something like that. Check with your kids if you don't know. And there was no value exchange there. She just won it. And so if you want to rewrite that and say, you know what, I am worthy and deserving as I am at this very moment in time to receive unlimited abundance. It shows up, checks are in the mail, people point out items and I win them. I win raffles. You know, my networking group does a 50-50 raffle. Half the money goes into the networking kitty for the party at the end of the year, and whoever wins the ticket draw gets the other half. And Ellen won it the last time, and she's like, Elizabeth, I told you I was gonna win it this time, this one ticket. And she did. Did she exchange any value for it? No. So you can rewrite that story. What about the story with relationships? Okay, so people are in, let's say you're in a relationship. People are in relationships, and I love listening to Esther Hicks. I had someone get a pile of CDs of Abraham Hicks, in a car that they bought, but they don't listen or know Abraham Hicks, but they knew I did, and they're in Iowa, I'm in Florida, and they're like, would you like these? Yes. And there was no value exchanged, none whatsoever. She just gave it to me. Now, I sent her a check to cover the cost of the shipping, and then I decided to put in a bookmark, to bless her since she blessed me. But I didn't bless her first. I didn't add value to her life. I just showed up, and she knew I liked them. And in these, everyone keeps talking about relationships, and consistently Abraham says, you're trying to change this person to make you feel better in the relationship, and I'm telling you that doesn't work. So if you have a belief that husband, wife, partner, partners, whatever it is, has to change XYZ for me to be happy, that story does not benefit you. Because you can't change that person. What you can do is change your story regarding them. I will focus on, the benefits. And many times the thing that shows up, when I was married, the thing that would irritate me the most was the thing that irritated me most about myself. So I would look at whatever my husband was doing and going, that is just obnoxious. And then I would have to stop and go, okay, where is this similar to something that's obnoxious in my own life? I kid you not. I was married for a very short time, but it worked. I would go, okay, I need to change this about me. Either an expectation, a habit, an inconsideration, whatever it was, I would work on me. That's my story, is fixing. Because if I'm not liking it in them and I'm doing it, then I'm not liking it in me and not connecting it. Make sense? If you're believing for a relationship, and I told you I've gained weight since I was sick. I am off the cough drops. So excited. And I set that intention forth. I'm like, you know what, God, you and me, we are getting me off these sugar drops that are craving carbs. Tonight is the last night. This weekend we're getting nothing, and I actually left the house, forgot my cough drops. And I came to the office. I said, I'm not going to buy any more because I said I wasn't going to unless I ran out. And I didn't run out. They're just at home. I didn't have a cough drop. I had maybe one or two that day. The next day, none. Monday, today, Tuesday, yesterday, and today, none. Totally off. Thank you, God. Thank you, law of attraction. But I've gained weight. I want to be in a relationship. So do I have to now wait till I lose all the weight that I gained and then the others that I'd like to lose before I get in a relationship? No, that is a crappy story. I don't know why on earth we tell ourselves this. I can have somebody now who likes me now and is going to be excited with the journey of me having fun getting to my 125-pound weight loss, or to that weight, not total weight. I'd be zero at that point. I'd be disappeared. But to get to my final weight goal, they can come alongside me and help me with it. You know what? Who knows? They might like to cook and like to help me with healthy cooking since I hate cooking. And I don't want to change that story. I refuse to change the story about me loving cooking, or rather do not love cooking, because I like my personality, and I like the fact that I'm okay with that. So there's some stories that you're like, I don't like cooking, maybe a script and story of my life, but I'm okay with that. But this over here, I'm going to change this story. Basically, kind of weigh it as to whether it serves you or not. Now, do I prepare food? Yes, I have to. I have to eat. So it still works out. So changing and by rewriting your script. And I would literally write the script out. Let's say we're changing a story that I don't have a story in mind right yet. That let's go with I am a money magnet. Money comes to me consistently flowing all the time. So I would pull out a notepad and pen and paper. I would stop. I would try and visualize it first so I could formulate, and then I would start writing. I am so excited. I'm just overly blessed. Checks just keep showing up in the mail. They come from various sources, and I keep getting phone calls with new prospects that are turning into clients daily. I have sold so many pens that I just can't count them anymore. I've had to hire staff to help with the shipping and the orders. I am so thrilled with the money that is just so abundantly unlimitedness, I can't say it, with unlimited abundance flowing through and in my life. See, if I sat and wrote it down and thought it first, you can tell when I have things written and when I don't. So I would write it out in present tense. And then I would, step 4, bring the script and story and read it daily until it feels solidified. Now, sometimes it'll feel solidified because it starts happening. Sometimes it feels solidified because you feel like, you know what, I don't have to read this anymore. I know it's true. And when you read it, live it in your mind, visualize it, feel it, be it in the present tense as if it is. And step 5, once it's solidified in your mind as done, put it away. The moment it feels like reading this is now work because I already know it and I'm just stepping into a routine, then you put it away and you go on to the next story, because now you're handing it over to the producer, to the universe, to God, to the infinite source of possibilities. And know it is done. When you get inspired to make changes or to act, do it. You're in the process of rewriting your story. Don't force it. And finally, as you go through life, pay attention to the words that you speak, the thoughts that you focus on, reactions to that which is around you or that come up. Pay attention to knowing that everything that's going on in your mind is a story, and kind of hold it to the light. The Bible says to capture every thought to the glory of God. And what that means is every thought that comes in is not necessarily yours. And you can, when you notice you're focusing on something, you can hold it up to the mirror of, does this serve me or not? Not, this is a story I need to either kick out, it's not mine, or I need to rewrite the story. Realign them actively, intentionally to go along with your new stories and your scripts. So I believe we did phenomenal on time. Yay. I always see what my hair is doing afterwards. You don't know your own personal appearance throughout the day until you create videos, and then you focus on it even more. But I have behind me, we got our new cups. I don't want the pillow to fall. But you can order them. The She Believes She Could, so she did. Both cups will come, and they have various colors we're adding to the site. This one happens to be pink. It's on inside and on the handle. Or you can get it white, and it doesn't matter if you're a lefty or a righty because it's on both sides. So I'm going to be creating more products of affirmation and encouragement, as well as manifesting tools. So look for them in our Joyful Living store. And until next week, Go check out those stories and rewrite the ones that don't serve you, and keep hold of the ones that do. Bye.